Okay, time now to welcome our second guest of the day, and it's a man who listened to more songs than I've had hot dinners. That's saying something. And it's Graham Jarvis. Graham, welcome to you.
Hi.
Strange sort of introduction, but I'm sure it's almost self-explanatory. You are a music man.
I am indeed.
Tell us something about your career.
Well, I started life as an electronics designer, and that led to writing software for some of the very early computer games, such as on Commodore 64s, if anyone remembers those. And
Why, is there something else after that? Because I stopped using mine.
just one or two things come along. And then I was asked to start writing music for various games, very early computer games, and writing the music for various corporate shows.
Is this actually the whole program you write, or just the like a tune to go with the games?
Well, originally it was writing some of the software that went in the game, and I think the people got so fed up of trying to plug numbers in to get the music, they'd say, "Oh, can you do it yourself?" And so I'd write the music for them as well, and that led to, say, people involved in that industry asking me to write music for the videos, and that in turn led to me starting to write music for TV shows.
Mm-hmm. How do you keep up with the technology, by the way? Because it's changed a lot since the Commodore days.
Yes, it has. It's always a challenge to keep up with just what's the latest thing. And perhaps the greatest challenge is to reject the latest thing. So if there's a new fantastic sounding cello sample out, to decide, why don't I just get a cellist in to play that part rather than spending the best part of a week trying to do it synthetically. So yeah, there are a lot of things to think about when you're writing music, but of course it also comes down to the timescales you've got and also the budget you've got. Sometimes you've not really finished writing the music when it's almost time to deliver it. So in that case, you probably wouldn't get the cellist in because you haven't written the music for him or her to play.
This is all down to sampling.
There's a lot of sampling involved, yeah. And also synthetic sounds.
To reproduce the sound of an actual instrument?
Yeah, if you're after the sound of an actual instrument. Though nowadays there's a lot of blending, so that you'll have some synthetic sounds mixed in with real sounds. And so you end up with the contemporary sound, which is played a lot in the songs we hear on iTunes and so on.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a preference? Did you like what you were originally doing? I know you moved on to television and other bits and pieces, but is there a preference? It's like you say, my heart's really in this, or do you just enjoy moving on?
A bit of both. I love music, as I think a lot of people do. If you can hear a piece of music that really inspires you, even sometimes just a few notes on a particular instrument, so you can hear someone playing an acoustic guitar. It doesn't have to be complicated, it's just the sound of that instrument in the right location, and you're taken away with that piece of music and that musician, that instrument. So I think my heart perhaps is in the sound of live instruments, but I do love the challenge of finding new sounds, new instruments, and just getting it to work to picture.
When you moved into television, was that a natural progression, or did someone say to you, "Oi, we want you to do this for us"?
I think it was a natural progression. I think I was ready to start writing.
Did you go looking for
music? I did send out a lot of letters saying, "Please use me," and but also there were people who were coming to me saying, "Have you got the time to write some music for this show?" And my biggest break in those early days was getting to work on Fools and Horses.
We're going to come back in a moment, if that's okay. We're talking to Graham Jarvis about his incredible career after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm still here with Graham Jarvis before the break. We were talking about your career and how you got into television. And one of the things that you're quite famous for was a scene in Only Fools and Horses. We're going to have a quick look at that. I think everyone's going to remember it. It's very, very funny. I'd actually forgotten about that. It's absolutely hilarious, isn't it? I mean, that will go down in history probably, a bit like the one when he falls through the bar.
Indeed.
As well. So what happened there? Because what part of the music did you do?
Well, we had to write the music for the mugging scene to set it up as if it was just going to be a mugging scene. And then the Batman TV series theme had to be taken apart and rearranged and made to fit to picture, because the music is always written to picture, and so it had the brass that you heard there of the Batman had to be taken out while all the talking was going on. You had to change the speed of it so that as Dal hits his fist and says, "Come on, Rodney," then the brass come in to take it out and keep the excitement going and give that feeling of it really is Batman. And of course the impact of seeing Dal and Rodney as Batman and Robin and the theme, the well-known TV theme coming in, just made the audience fall about.
It was that's really is a classic clip.
Yeah.
Now you've also been working, or you did work on Strictly Come Dancing as well at one time.
That's right. I was asked to join the team because they had a problem. What music could they play to people rehearsing before the night? Because the live band only play the music on the afternoon before the show. So say about 2 o'clock, they sit down, read the music, and that's what's going to be played. The problem they had was, how do the band know what to play and what are the dancers going to rehearse to for the previous few weeks? And so I was brought in originally to write the music synthetically and decide just what the track would be. So might cut it down to 1 minute 30 or a minute or so. And it soon became clear that that was partly too expensive, and also just people didn't know exactly which tracks they would have and keep to. And so we decided to go with using the original commercial tracks and editing them. And fortunately for us, computers had got to the point where you could speed things up and slow it down, so that if they wanted to use a track as a cha-cha, and let's say the original track ran at 130 beats a minute, which is too fast, then you could slow it down to 120 beats a minute so that you could still do a good cha-cha to it.
Will the band play the way that you directed as well?
Yeah. The point is that the people who are dancing have got to be confident that what they'll hear on the night from the band and the vocalists is exactly what they've been rehearsing to. And once, in fact, I went into TV Centre to see rehearsals going on, and towards the end of the number, just as the couple were getting close to the finishing part and where they were going to do their pose, the music stopped. It was about 8 seconds before the couple thought.
Oh, really?
So we had to quickly...
8 seconds can be a lifetime to some people.
They were really annoyed, I can tell you.
I can imagine.
So we had to look at the music, and someone had decided that the music the band were about to play was 8 seconds too long and had crossed out 4 bars of music.
Oh, gosh.
So luckily we could get it back by just rubbing out the...
Before we run out of time, I know because you went off to do Dancing with the Stars in America as well, which I assume on the strength of that.
Right.
But what was it like working in America? Was that good?
Well, I only went over there a couple of times. A lot of the time it was all done from England, but the people there were fantastic. In fact, most TV shows I've worked on, people are very, very friendly and welcome you with it, as if you're a long-lost friend. They're really nice.
Yeah, because you're British. Okay, let's move on now to a big thing for you at the moment, and that's working on an app for the iPhone.
That's right, iPhone and Android, actually. It's an app called Dancepicker, and it enables people to find the right dance, their music, or the right music for their dance. So if you're looking for a track for your wedding, then it's got several hundred tracks. We've listened to every track and the lyrics. So some places suggest...
These are well-known songs?
Yeah. The whole point is there are some lesser-known songs, but a lot of contemporary...
That's on the screen there.
That's right.
So how does that actually work?
So you can select, as you see, as you saw there, select a style like cha-cha, select things like a wedding or whatever, and you can then get the results, scroll through them, select one of the tracks, and you'll get a preview from iTunes. So there are over 12,000 tracks on there. The big thing is we've listened to every single track, myself and a professional dancer, and we've listened to all the lyrics of the wedding tracks, so that you're not going to find you've got a track such as Baby Now That I've Found You by the Foundations, which sounds like a great track for a wedding, but in fact is about a split up and the bloke saying, I'll find you, I'll get back to you, and I don't want to leave you now, which isn't so good for the wedding.
Does this compare with Spotify, or is this totally different?
It's totally different because there's no other app which gives you the ability to find cha-chas and to dial in a tempo and find what dances you can do and find tracks. It's also good for runners who might want to find new things to run to. So they might be running to a Beyonce track, find it on Dancepicker, it will tell you the tempo, and then you can dial at that tempo and find hundreds of other tracks at that same tempo. So it's useful for anyone with an interest in music.
Is that on the iPhone now? Can you actually go to that?
Yep, it's on the iPhone, so from the App Store, Dancepicker. There's also for the Android version, and there's a lite version, so you can try it for free before you commit to buying. It's £1.49, so it's less than the price of a coffee at Brighton Station, and we've had some fantastic reviews from professional dancers. A lot of the people on Strictly and Dancing with the Stars have used it, as well as people in international dance schools.
We're going to see you at wedding fairs now. You're going to set up a stall there?
I could do. I'm not sure what sort of dress would suit me, but yeah, I'll work on it.
You go from there. Are you working on anything else at the moment, or is this going to be your retirement fund?
No, I am working on another dance-related project, which is called Guilt Lines, with about a dozen other people. We're co-writing different tracks, and the first track is a waltz. It's co-written by Z Asher, who's a vocalist on Boy George's band, and she's an actress, and Laurie Holloway, who was MD. I met him on Strictly.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
And the first track is out in the next few weeks, and that's a beautiful waltz.
Laurie Holloway was with Morecambe & Wise, wasn't he? Was he with,
he was the MD on various shows. Parkinson he was well known for, and also, as I say, on Strictly.
Actually, I think he was MD for Shirley Bassey for a while as well.
He was, and he worked for various well-known people like Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. He says his claim to fame is that he made Judy Garland sing a bad note because he played the wrong note on the piano and she followed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's quite a story.
I know Shirley Bassey is a very fussy lady, very, very particular.
Indeed.
You've got to be pretty good to work with her.
Yeah. Laurie's a fantastic character. Yeah, we had a really good 2 years on Strictly Come Dancing, having a good laugh together, and
is that how your association with him began?
Yeah. I first met him on the show, and it was in a meeting room at the BBC where they said they needed Bruce Forsyth to come down the stairs in 10 seconds, and I pointed out that you could only do that if the music was running at the right tempo, and Laurie was puzzled because his background was just playing free, and my background was always making sure the tempo fits the time that you're aiming for. Yeah. So we hit it off. And
has your art and your talent sort of come naturally, or something you've had to learn?
I think it's a bit of both. I think I was inspired when I was a teenager when I played violin and piano, and I went to a place to get my violin repaired, and it was almost like Pinocchio's dad's workshop, and the bloke there was playing the guitar so beautifully that I was hooked, and I thought, music, that's where I'd like to be.
Okay, unfortunately we're running out of time, but it's been great meeting you. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Graham Jarvis. Thanks a lot for your coming today. Unfortunately it's time to go.